And we're live. Hello!
Hi. We prepared this.
You're the GM. You're the storyteller.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Greetings, beautiful players, beautiful listeners, beautiful watchers. I bid you welcome to our good evening game for us Europeans and afternoon game for all the other people on the other side of the pond.
It's very bright outside right now.
Very dark, very, very dark, as you can see. Very dark.
I am the faceless voice, your storyteller, Tom Murr, and I'm here to guide you tonight through a story of lost people, a story about changelings. And I am very, very delighted to have a radiant cast of wonderful players who are about to introduce themselves. Maybe I should put a spoiler in here. I am German, so I'm very sorry to butcher the English language for everybody else. And if I mispronounce anything, I'm sorry, but it can't be helped. Okay, after we got this out of the way.
Don't apologize to them. They can deal with it.
Yeah, I'm
this
sure.
Is the demon
You were running
sign
this.
for the delicious voice.
So, thank you for already standing up for me. Dixie, please tell us, who might you be?
Hi, if you're watching this channel, you probably are somewhat familiar with me. I'm Dixie Cochran. I'm one of the in-house developers at Onyx Path Publishing. I am in charge of Chronicles of Darkness, which includes this game. So you can all see how bad I am at knowing the rules of the games I'm in charge of. Because that's not my job, that's the dev's job. But I'm so excited to play Changeling the Lost. I've only played first edition, even though I'm super into second edition. I edited it. I love second edition. I think it's amazing. I've watched it played. It was my first time actually getting to play it. So I'm so excited. And I'm playing a new Kith that's actually from the book Kith and Ken, releasing at some point in the future. We did a preview of it on the Onyx Path blog recently. It's called the Spiegelbild. And it is kind of it's like the opposite complementary version of a mirror skin. Kind of like a darkling evil mirror skin. And my name is Zilka and I'm from Berlin.
Thank you very much. So then I brought another European with me.
Hello.
Hi.
Numbers.
She's your
Hi,
emotional
Jenny.
support European.
Yeah. Hi, Jenny. I've been doing some work with Red Moon Role-Playing, if you've been listening to that. So that's kind of where you might recognize my voice from. Usually don't show my face, so that's kind of new. And a bit, I can't help but, making sure I look good all the time.
It's a pretty face.
Thank you. So is yours.
Yes.
A bit horny, but yeah, beautiful. I'm going to play Dita Müller, who is kind and gentle giant. And I think that's about it. Yeah, she's a kind and gentle giant.
That's all. That's to this character, for sure.
No dark secrets, nothing, no dark past or
Same.
anything
I'm
that
just
will come back and haunt me. No.
Yeah, no, everything's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Great. Then, returning to the Americas, we have another player with us who, and that would be Wes. Hi, Wes.
Hi, Tom, and hi, everybody watching. My name's Wes, or Wes Franks. I'm excited to be here. This is my first time on the Onyx Path Twitch. But if you're familiar with me, then you know I run Carrying Comfort Studios. I'm the storyteller for Iron City by Night. I've been over at Gehenna Gaming doing a bunch of stuff with them. And I've got a bunch of other exciting stuff coming up. But this afternoon/evening, I will be playing Rudyard Livingston, who is not from Germany, who came from further west and settled in Germany. But he is very much a sad boy, darkling, helldiver. So, but instead of being very angry or malicious, he's just always constantly sad and just down in the dumps and everything, which will be great because that's not normally what I play character-wise.
It's very funny to me. This is your first time on this channel. I just kind of assumed that you've been on this channel before. And
This
it's
is
like
my very first time. I'm excited.
I was about to say, what do you mean Wes is in here every week?
you were on here for Onyx PathCon because I thought we played together for Onyx PathCon.
Yeah, but I don't think we were on this channel. I think we were on Gehenna Gaming's channel. Yeah. Which I thought during OPC, I was like, yes, I get to be on the Onyx Path for the first time. And then they're like, no, you're going to be doing everything on Gehenna Gaming. And I was like, no.
Oh, we were partners for that.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
fine,
I forgot to say that, of course. I played Vesen with Gehenna Gaming
Mhm.
and Tom. So, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
Of
this
course.
is a Vason group re-meetup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you enjoy us in this afternoon and you haven't seen it, check out GG's YouTube where there's a video of us playing Vason with Tom as our MC.
But yeah,
And since you're already talking,
Yeah. Who's that talking? Who's that in the mask?
Who's this in the mask? If you recognize me or this mask, you'll know I'm Kay, another American. And you can usually find me on Mondays at Gehenna Gaming for our Monday Monster Hearts 2 games. And today I'll be embracing my first time on the Onyx Path and playing a lovely changeling, a fairest night singer. Just call me Princeton Channing. American, yeah, an American in Germany right now who has got a all-American face like apple pie.
amazing.
Don't know why, but for some reason I want to Channing your Tatum. Okay, sorry.
I'm promising this is going to be much
Sorry.
more serious in some minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Less? Did you say less serious?
No,
Much
no.
more.
More serious.
I'm the serious, brooding, melancholy guy. So, yes. Ooh, how to recover from this? Good question.
Sorry.
You
So-
like can't invite this group onto a stream and expect it to not be at least a little silly in the
Listen,
beginning.
Yeah, if in GV you don't hear us say we're professional streamers at least once, it's not an episode of GV.
I wouldn't
We'll be
count
good though,
myself
Tom.
to be a
We'll be
streamer.
good. We promise. We'll
So-
be good little changelings. Our motley will be good.
Yes. Yes. So, is everybody all right?
Oh yeah.
Never, but
Never.
I am ready.
So excited
Okay.
for the fanciful tale you have us in this beautiful little park.
Yes. I will tell you about the park in a second. At first, I want to address that we are playing Changeling the Lost, which is a horror game, and it sometimes goes into the very dark pasts of its protagonists and the other actors in the story, which isn't funny, which can contain pretty serious matters and experiences, which might hit home for some people. So please be aware of this. Just for your informations, we are using Foundry as a tool to run this game for dice rolls, and I also implemented a safety tool from the book Changing the Lost Second Edition, in which I get visual keys about the well-doing of my players. If they feel uncomfortable, they can tell me by just pushing a token into a yellow cycle for I'm not feeling very comfortable with this topic, please change. And we do have a red circle for stop, it's enough, let's take this into another direction completely. So yes, CVs are already discussed in the chat. Thank you very much for this. Also might be coming up emotional and physical abuse, so keep that in mind. Okay, I think we have talked about most of the pressing matters. I assume everybody is supplied with something to drink, and we can start with our story. Welcome, dear gentle persons. let me whisk you away into a world of once upon a time, which is not too far away, actually. Once upon a time, there was a place that the world forgot about. Once it brought laughter and joy to many, but now it lays barren and only few know about it. Next to the river Spree, hidden by trees, the remains of an amusement park are rotting away with the years. It is right at the heart of Berlin, yet still unseen. Well, not entirely. It became a home to those who were bereaved of their houses and families, those who were taken away by cruel lords and ladies from the realm of fairy tales. The gentry, the high folk, the fairies kidnap people like you and me and drag them through a green maze of thorns called the hedge. After they arrived in the high towers and verdant green forests of Acadia, these poor souls were reformed into cattle, servants, furniture. Yes, some of us were reshaped into trees and candles, others into wolves or brutish monsters. Many stay in the realm of fairy, in Acadia forever. But some return, fighting, sneaking, bargaining their way out of their personal hell and return to the mortal realm, only to discover that they were replaced. No one was waiting for them. Lovers moved on. Parents died years ago. And somebody else is living your life, just looking like you. Nobody missed you. You have no idea how many of us shared this fate. To make matters worse, our kidnappers sent hunters to get us back, to punish us for our disobedience and leash us once again. That's why we need to hold together, why we form packs and build our own communities. One thing that fairy tales tell us is that some things that are lost can be refound. And so we find each other. We find new homes and we fight together. That's what's happening at the Spree Park. We hide there. We find our ways to cope with our experiences. We make pacts, choose leaders, and invoke the powers of the seasons to become a haven for the forgotten. So one day, we might not be lost anymore. Come with me. Let's sink into the story of one of these motleys living within the Spree Park. It is a December night. Technically, it's still autumn. But it is already dark. In these industrial areas next to the Spree, there are only few lights. A slight rain dribbles from the sky, wets the skin of a lonely person. The cold is getting to you, Princeton.
Mm.
And suddenly you notice you aren't alone anymore. There's something, a tiny critter, and although it does not possess the gift of speech, you get the sense of what it's communicating to you. He is close. He's coming for you. He won't get you. He won't let you get away this time. Your heartbeat fastens. You know this can mean only one thing. It's a hunter, a huntsman, a creature bound to the will of your fairy lord, coming to get you back. You start moving faster. You are far away from the park. You would take a door, jump into the hatch, and leave at a safe place, but there are no doors next to you. There's only the canyon made of windowless industrial brick walls to your left, to your right. And it's stretching before your eyes. The street is getting longer, and you can feel the praying gaze of something in your neck. What do you do?
I don't look back. I know if I look back, I'm done for. And he runs. He keeps going and going, and he knows this body rebuilt of his own is built for endurance and challenges. And he whispers out into the night because he knows he sent Maximus away, but Maximus is never far. And he hopes to meet with Maximus and convey an even faster speed, because horsepower always beats manpower.
Right. You hear a scattering sound somewhere high up behind you. Was there even a window? It's not breaking, for sure. And you feel a short gust of wind. That's not your friend. That's the hunter. Going for you in earnest.
And I feel the burn in my thigh, but I ignore it and I keep going, and I will myself past this. I will not go back.
You come to a crossroad, and there, in the light of the one remaining streetlight, stands a white horse.
And it's a scene fit for a storybook of its own, as Princeton does this dexterous leap and twist of his body and lands perfectly twixt the saddle and just onto Maximus and claps against his sides with his legs, and Maximus just takes off as they gallop, a Princeton Channing and a white horse.
Yes. Your speed doubles, at least. But there's another shattering sound, and then another. It's like it's keeping up with you by traveling through glass. And then suddenly it appears in front of you. It's only a mere shadow. And it's manifesting out of a glass door. And then there's another shattering sound. And a similar being gets into existence. How many might there be? 2, 3, 4. You don't know. All you can feel is the rampant movement of the horse beneath you.
And I think,
Please go on.
to say, seeing this happen, Princeton uses his own feet to start kicking off his shoes. And switching himself so he's sitting side saddle, preparing for an option of the worst, depending on what's going down, readying himself.
They're following you. Are them trying to tire the horse? Seems so effortlessly as they keep up with you. In front of you, a bridge appears. It will take you over the river onto the other side. Then you will be close to the park. There is the forest. In the forest, there's protection. Will you make it?
There's no other choice but to make it.
You're right. Your companion also has this feeling. You can feel the sweat under your fingers. You can feel like the heartbeat of the horse tries to connect with yours. You're still not in the right place, but will be soon. There's the bridge. A boat is passing by. And as you cross the bridge, glass shatters, a window pane breaks, and one of the shadow figures emerges from the glittering dust. It's reaching out for you, and to avoid it claws. You have to roll animal handling plus dexterity.
All right. Pull up my handy dandy little sheet. And we're gonna go plus dexterity. That is 2 successes.
Well, it is enough for you to get out of the way, but the claws rip open Maximus' pelt.
Maximus.
You feel the pain. You feel the shudder of the horse, but it can't be helped. It must carry you away. You can't return, and so you get into the forest, and you feel the magic, the warding that lies upon this place. It was spun by the queens of spring and autumn. One could say an easy enough spell. It will connect your heartbeat with the rhythm of the park. It will grant you the ability to be fast, to not be hindered by the trees, and to not stumble upon the ground. Do you want to tap into this magic?
Of course.
So please spend 1 point of glamour.
Spent.
As you invoke the contract which lies upon this place, something wells up, something that always accompanies you as you use Fey magic. It is your mantle.
Mhm.
What is revealed about you?
So there is suddenly a light flicker, and the dazzling glimmers and booms of a fireworks show peripherally surround both myself and Maximus.
You feel your aggressors behind you. They see the mental flaring up. They double their efforts. But at the same time, something is stopping them. It's like they're stumbling over their own feet. It's like they try to attune to the rhythm, but they can't. There's something missing, something that's a difference between you and them. You slow them down, but now you still have to get rid of them. What is your idea?
So I think there is a pause on the horse and a blade is drawn. It's fantastical light, golden adorned. And he knows Maximus is hurting, but Princeton knows they just need a little more. And he presses his legs close to switch direction to these slower beings. And as they barely catch up, his blade just swath through the side to where their heads lay, and he bites them like thorns. An expert hedge duelist.
This would probably be a devastating attack within the boundaries of the hedge. You're still within the Iron World, but it shows them that on this ground they won't stand a chance as long as this spell works. You're still on your horseback. Maximus carries you away. There's no time for this foolishness. And then you're carried toward the borders of the park. The attackers behind you, resting assured that hunting season is open and you're on the menu.
I think as soon as Princeton is inside, he calls Dita. Where's Dita? He's looking for Dita because he knows that Dita has certain abilities, and he's concerned for himself, he's perhaps more concerned for Maximus.
Good question. Where is Dita?
If she is not in her usual little dwelling in the utility shed, she's probably patrolling the park, making sure that everyone is safe. It is not a stretch to say that she might be around to hear his calls.
I would think so too, yes. You hear them echoing through the park, which seems to be abandoned, but surely isn't.
I quickly try to find which way it's coming from, and of course use my very long legs to quickly stride over there in quite a big strides. While I draw some kind of weapon. Sorry, I haven't checked if I have one.
What kind of weapon would you like to have?
I probably have a sword and a shield.
Yeah, sure, why not?
I think.
Yes.
I draw my ginormous. In any other person's hands, it would be a two-handed sword, but in Dita's hands, it's actually quite dainty still. And gather the big wooden shield. Actually, it's part of a log, a giant log that is hollowed out and has strapped on her back as she strides through the forest quickly and towards where the shouting's coming from, kind of gets it off her back and starts strapping it on her arm while she pulls her one-handed sword and running quickly towards where the commotion is. Eager to help, of course.
You find Princeton hastily entering the park on horseback. What kind of
Shoeless.
expression do you have on your face, Princeton?
It's panic and shock and concern, all this swirl there. He's usually rather immaculately well dressed, despite the sort of barren conditions of the Spree Park, and his shoes are missing, and he is sliding off the side of Maximus. And I just wanted to go out and see if I could meet them at the bar. I didn't think Maximus got injured. Dita, please.
Can I see anything behind Princeton? Is there anyone around more than just him and Maximus?
Right now, you can't see anything else.
I walk over towards Princeton, looking him up down from his naked feet to his now ruffled hair, I guess.
Yeah, the hair that's usually this perfectly coiffed blonde hair is just entirely askew, wind whipped.
Making sure that you're not hurt in any way.
Don't look at me. Look at Maximus. As I
Yes.
put my hand down the flank of the horse.
Yes. My main concern, Princeton, is of course with you, but I will look at your horse. I walk over to Maximus and I start patting him on his nozzle as I look for his injuries. Is it bad?
It's not good, at least. The horse seems to be hurt. As a changeling, you can see through the mask. Mortal witnesses would only see a white horse, but instead, you see it for what it really is. A creature from the hedge. A fey mount. A mechanical horse. Colored in the colors of nostalgia. From the times when you rode on a merry-go-round and eat candy corn and have a good time. But now on the leg there's a deep cut in the wood beneath the splintered colors.
I lean down because I suspect I am a bit taller even than the horse.
Yes.
And I kind of put my forehead against the horse's forehead, and then I breathe out and actually try to heal the damage by using my gift blessing. That I can spend 1 glamour to heal bashing and lethal damage from allies, I guess.
Yes.
And I get clarity damage instead.
Yes. In this case, it would be mild clarity damage. To take away the pain, it would be 1 point. To completely heal the horse, it would be 2.
I will, of course, heal all the damage.
So please mark 2 mild clarity damage. How much clarity do you have left?
I have 2 after that.
This is already getting interesting. You take away the pain of the horse. The thing is, the pain has to go somewhere. And who would be better for this than you? There's nobody else who could take this. You're made for these kind of things. There's nothing you wouldn't do for your friends.
I kind of stumble a little bit, and you can hear a really, really low groan, almost as a rumble deep within Dita's ginormous body. And it's almost like her ashen skin kind of almost gets a little bit grayer for just a split second before it turns back.
Yeah, and I imagine as you do stumble, Princeton is just right there. And though it almost looks a little comical considering the size difference, he has a hand that goes against your back to steady you. Always there for the right position to catch a damsel if they fall.
I think I put my hand on your head and pat it a little bit, and I kind of aware of the size difference, but still thankful for the support.
You get the feeling that this very soft, very squishy person is like a very, very thin porcelain cup beneath your fingers. Just like the horse. And the tree over there, the very stones on which you walk, all of this is made of porcelain. If you lost control, it all would break.
All too easily, sadly.
And you feel a little bit of your grasp on reality slipping away, as everything is looking like painted porcelain.
We should probably get in to shelter.
A bit further. Are you all right, Dita? I know it takes a bit of you. Thank you. Maximus is so very important. We should let the Queen's Court know there are hunters and they are close by yet near these even woods. We should get Rudy and let it be known that they are around.
Were you sneaking out again, Princeton?
I thought if I went to the bar, maybe I'd see them again and I could sing and I.
Is that wise?
No.
How can I protect you if you are not here?
I can protect myself. Usually that is my job. I wasn't quick enough for I was quick enough, but Maximus, not that Maximus isn't, and like he sort of stumbles over his word a little. I know we have to remain here, but it's a bare whisper. I don't like remaining in a box.
Let's get back in the box before we break even more. Dita turns around and starts walking towards the center of the park, expecting Princeton to follow.
Yeah, Princeton sort of will halt for a second, but I imagine that Maximus sort of comes behind and nudges their head into Princeton's back a bit and gets him to start walking.
Very well. Where would you take him to, Dita? To your own place? To one of the queens?
I think probably to where he resides himself.
Sure. To his home then. We make a little time jump. Just some moments earlier, somebody else arrived at Princeton's place. It's Rutford. You came here for a reason, and the thing is, you hit yourself. What had shaken you, and why and how are you hiding?
So, I had been tooling around with a little bit in my part of the park, and I'd been trying to find for maybe some wires or something. And I know the old merry-go-round has a lot of copper wiring and stuff that I need for it. So I'd been tooling around a little bit, and then I heard a bunch of noises and commotion, and I know that that typically follows Princeton, so I decided to hide myself to make sure that I didn't get caught rooting around in his part of the park. And so I'm just kind of up against the wall with like a Walkman headphones, like blaring some MDF-MK or something like that, and just checking, making sure that there's like nobody actually walking in, like wires coming out of my leather jacket pockets and everything.
Is that something you usually do? Borrow stuff unasked from your friends?
Well, yeah, and I can always give it back or pay them back for it, and typically they never notice. I mean, you know, it's stuff that they wouldn't notice that was gone, like a little, a couple wires there, a metal plate here, things like that.
What is the gift you left in it once this time?
Oh, instead, okay, so I found this like really neat little like pamphlet thing from when the park used to be open. And it just talks about like all the different like attractions and stuff like that. And it's like the one pamphlet that I found that isn't mildewy or anything like that. So I just went ahead and just left that in its place. Like I opened up the panel, took some wires out, and then I just put the pamphlet in its place there. Hopefully it'd be a nice little gift and distraction there for Princeton.
I like to imagine that you think nobody knows you're doing this, but every time you've been doing this, I've been in a mirror. just like he's doing that thing again.
Just collecting receipts. Just
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there are definitely tons of mirrors in the merry-go-round.
Yeah,
An obscene
perfect.
amount.
Yeah, I'm like sliding through the mirror, like watching you, like, okay, all right, this is what's happening right now.
Like, why would you be in the mirrors and watching your friends' places?
Because I need to know everything. I don't care who it is. Information is power.
I see.
They're my friends, yeah, but friends turn on you.
How do you feel about, as you can see, that Rudy is leaving Princeton's place and the other two members of your motley are just returning in time to maybe catch him?
Let's see.
put the headphones back
on.
Act like nothing's happened.
I think that she would actually materialize in the mirror where Rudy could see her.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of say like, hey.
Fucking shite.
You're gonna get caught.
I don't... Doing what? Walking around the park here. I'm gonna get... What are you doing? Huh? Showing up in mirrors and everything.
That's what I do, you know me.
Yeah, and I walk around and listen to music. That's what I do. There's nothing wrong going on here. You know, what if you get caught, huh? Peeking around in mirrors and everything like that. What if...
I can disappear, but I know what's in your pockets.
Oh, there's nothing in me pockets.
You should go out back, man. You'll just owe me one later.
Okay, fine. All right.
I'll meet you all there in a minute.
All right. Did you hear any of those noises that were going on? Do you know what's happening?
She's gone.
Fucking hell.
Like she is gone because she has to show up physically.
Shite. All right. Go out the back then.
My character is meant to be incredibly creepy.
Just
so
fucking
I
yeah. Just
like
fucking.
she is a cynical, weird, like
even as
like
a
literally,
and
like,
we love her. We love all of our Motley. Cynical and weird and, sticky-fingered as they are.
Even as a former guard dog, I still get spooked by it. Like, the one thing that spooks me.
I have to read this just so that the audience knows. So this is a new kit that I'm playing. The Darkling version of this is described as, she always seems to sneak up on you. Even when you're walking toward her, it's impossible to make a good estimate of how far away she is. And she stands too close, her grin too sunny, as she leans down to your ear, sing-songing a lullaby of the violent secrets you've kept from everyone else.
Ew.
It's like a good ew, though.
Ooh. Yeah, me and Wes are like, yeah.
Yeah, I just want the chat to understand who I'm playing, since all the other kits are fairly familiar, and this one is brand new, so.
Great. I think 3 of you are meeting each other. Under what circumstances? And Zilka is not part of this meeting up.
I am on my way there, so I will show up soon.
Yes, you will.
Oi, you two. Hi there. I heard some commotion and saw some lights and everything like that. Just wanted to remind you all that, keeping it down and everything around the park, so none of the normies see us, or come, I would like to play my music loud and dance and everything, but I can't do that, so I have to stick to the headphones and everything.
Hello, Rudyard.
Look, Princeton, I don't mean to say, I know how you get about these kind of things, but you look right terrible there, mate. Dita, you're looking a bit under the weather too. Have you thought about drinking some water or something? A gallon a day will do good for you.
I think we look exactly as we need to look at the moment, but what brought you here?
Oh, just walking around the place, and I saw some lights, and I heard some. It was loud enough noises for me to take off of me my headphones here, and so I was just like, I'm gonna go see what's going on. It probably has something to do with Princeton, like it normally does. And I see it does involve Princeton here. Hi. Is the horse around too? Do we see the?
Oh
horse?
yeah, the horse is always there. If Princeton is there, the horse is there. Maximus is always there.
Maximus, mate, good to see ya.
It seems Princeton here had a run-in with some hunters.
Hunters. Like urban foragers or something like that. You know how they like to go around and find mushrooms or maybe grab a... No.
Like those that hunt us, and his hands have moved up to sort of again try and recoif his hair as he straightens out the blazer he wears, trying to bring back that semblance.
Fucking shite. How'd they find us?
Someone was out gallivanting.
It's so quiet here at night, and I wanted to just go and sing, and there's a place that they might have been there, and Maximus, it's not enough room for him to spread his legs.
There's a fucking park that's just for us to wander about. Your fucking horse can just walk around all he wants to. Mate, if it's too quiet, then you get yourself a headset or something. Get you a Walkman or something.
I wanted to not be quiet.
Oh, well, pardon me, I want a lot of things, but I don't get them. I live in my fucking Ferris wheel, I keep to myself and everything. It's not what I want, but here I am, because I don't want to be taken back to that god-awful place. And he just, holds up a finger like he's about to say something else, and he just relaxes it and goes, I think, Silk is gonna need to hear this, if she hasn't already. He, looks around, paranoid.
Silke, if you are here, if you wouldn't, if you deign to give us your presence, it would be appreciated.
If you look here, if you look just outside, she's actually just walking across towards you like a normal person.
Yeah. Fairest of maidens. He does a quarter half bow, sort of, which he did bow to Rudyard when Rudyard appeared, that sort of just half.
I believe Zilke would be distracted at this point. Because you're in possession of a phone. How did you get this?
I reached through and took it from my fetch, who is a much older version of me. She's aged in the past 40 years, whereas I haven't.
Your doppelganger probably didn't even notice that it was gone. But you got this phone with a lot of numbers on it. And this phone rings right now.
What's the number on it?
It's a number of a person you worked with back then. Somebody you exchanged information with, but if you hadn't any arrangements, you wouldn't call each other. This is unusual.
Okay. She's going to answer it, because I have to know everything. Hello?
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah?
I know. This is madness. I wouldn't call you. But I have no other idea what to do.
What's happening? Spit it out.
He's gone. From our house. He's just gone.
Who's gone?
My brother. And I tried to call the police, but they said if he isn't away for a certain number of hours, they wouldn't watch for him, and he has keys for everything, and so it's. But I know he's gone.
How long has he been gone?
I noticed this morning.
And why are you so certain he didn't just go out?
I don't know. I don't have any proof. It's just he. It's like feeling a void.
Okay. You need me to come by?
Please. You're my last option.
Okay. Now, question, Tom. Is this somebody that still thinks that they're calling, like, 60-year-old Zulika? Or is it somebody that I've interacted with since I came back?
You interacted with them, and they know that there's something off with you. They're not in the know. They just they see you don't age the right way and accepted it since you're still doing good work.
Right.
But on the other hand, they find you to be very creepy.
I am very creepy.
Yes.
Okay, I'll talk to my associates. Kind of hangs up. Hi, friends.
Hi there.
No.
Hello. What?
No.
No, what?
Silke,
Yes?
that phone you're using,
Yeah, it's my phone.
it's not exactly laying low, is it?
It's just a phone.
And we're not going anywhere.
But if someone is in distress, we have to.
And put all of us in distress?
What if they're taking people again? Do you want other people to suffer the way we did?
We can't.
There are million reasons why people disappear. It does not have to be them.
She said she felt a void.
That could be anything. Look, Dita's right, all right? Have you two gone off your bloody rocker or something? Come on now.
I ride a mechanical horse, not a rocking horse.
Fucking. Look, all right? We made an agreement that we're going to lay low. We're going to do what we can to make do with what we have here, all right? And guess what? You going out to bloody bars and pubs and saying howdy doody and singing karaoke isn't exactly helping us. And you just, what? I have to use a bloody
Trying
Sony
to save
Walkman.
lives. Trying to save lives. Yeah.
Look.
Remember earlier when then they said you owed me one?
He owes you one. Rudyard?
You didn't say no.
I didn't say no. I do owe you one.
Yeah, and I think Princeton stepped like away from Dita with Maximus, and they've both like gone to Silky's side, like very clearly, like we're doing this.
And Dita, I mean, if you want to leave us unprotected, that's entirely your business. But
I was just about to say that I will probably not be able to stop you from doing this, right?
no.
Very well. Let's leave.
Someone, I will need new shoes before we
Get
do.
your
Where
shoes,
are
then.
your shoes?
Somewhere in the woods. I thought I might need to dig them in the earth, and so I was preparing for that. It's messy and dirty, and and like he'll walk over to a section of the merry-go-round and like sort of like knock into a section, and it sort of pops out, and there's like some decently surprisingly immaculate like shoes there that he just slips on. They're definitely old and worn, but they've clearly been buffed to a ridiculous extent to make them shine.
There are any Doc Martens in there.
So, Prince, what happened to you? What were you doing?
Oh, I was just I was going out, you know, this the roaring call of need I to sing, and I was just out, you know, at a bar singing.
What do you sing?
Tales of maidens and earnest and dragons and fighting, and he gets a sort of like wistful look in his eyes, and
You're going out and singing Bloody Toto at karaoke, all right, mate? Let's not
That's a bit more like Rush to me.
It's fine. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
I'm not sure what Toto and Rush are, but
I detected a sense of urgency. Silke,
right, yes. When it's in danger, we should go, and it's what we must do.
Rudyard, are you coming or staying?
Coming, of course. He's a gallant man.
It seems I'm duty bound to help assist you both, so of course I'll follow along. But don't expect me to enjoy it at all. I'm gonna hate it the entire time.
Silka's gonna like drop back behind everybody else as we start off with Rudy and just kind of like get all up in his ear and be like, I'm keeping your secrets.
Yeah. He just puts up his hood that he's got from his hoodie and just like covers up a little bit. Just puts his hands in his pocket and goes, lead the way, gallant prince. Or Silke, or whoever's leading the way. I don't give a shite.
Farrah's shield maiden knows where we're going.
Let's go. Alright, so we start traveling toward wherever that is.
Yeah, you do. And just to give a little bit of a broader perspective, they are firm believers in staying within the boundaries of the park, which are commonly found in between the followers of the Winter and Autumn Queen. There are others who are of a more proactive way of approaching their surroundings, like spring and summer. The Summer Queen Jude actually, she is organizing hunting parties on her own to hunt down enemies of the park. And from time to time, all of you need contact to the mortals to feel some connection, to not lose yourself. So it's not only a burden, not only a risk to leave, but also a way of expressing life. Right now, leaving the park at the night time within the forest, and then the close by living quarters. You are in one of the more quiet sections of Berlin. It's not the skyscrapers, it's not the center of power of Germany. It's cramped places you're visiting. There is a smaller area within the living quarters with their houses, two-storied, with place enough for a family. And they all have their own driveway, a little bit of a garden, a tree in front, a tree in the back, and a garage. You arrive at one of these places.
When we were passing, did we pass anywhere the route that I took to get there?
No, you're
Okay.
you're now on the left side of the Spree and you came from the right.
Okay.
I just want this plain and obvious. I do not like this. I am only here to make sure you get back safely.
Be among the people sometimes. That's where you find the interesting things. You know that.
Don't you ever just have to get out there, Dita? To feel the rhythm of folks and something unchanged.
What I want and what I need are two separate things. I need to stay in the park. I might want other things, but those are not essential at all.
Well, I need to hear people talk.
You need to sing. Come, what do you need, Rudyard?
I don't need much. I just need people to leave me the fuck alone. That's all I need. I just need my music, and I just need my little quiet corner, you know? I think I had enough of people in my time back, you know? But you know what? I understand people have different needs and wants. We've talked about this before. But you know what? I acquiesce, just for tonight only, just because I have a sword of Damocles hanging over my head.
Wait, who is hanging a sword above your head?
It's
And,
not... It's not a literal sword, mate, alright? It's fine.
But he steps forward towards you and reaches out and would tilt your chin and make eye contact with you and be like, if you are ever in danger, it is my job as your friend, as your Princeton Channing, to ensure your safety from anyone who would threaten you.
Are you his Princeton Channing now? That's juicy.
I don't...
I'm your Princeton Channing too.
Oh, God. Something tells me there's enough Princeton Channing to go around.
Exactly.
Something tells me we're almost there and should probably get serious. There's a missing person.
Thank you.
Right.
All right.
He lets go of Rudyard's chin and steps back.
I don't know if I like that one bit.
You walk up the driveway, and it is probably Dita, with her changed point of view, who sees these strange cracks around of the gate of the garage. They're closing over time, but there's been a breach.
You might be correct, Silke. Maybe it was good we came here.
Oh, it's almost like I know what I'm talking about.
Look over there. I motion towards the cracks in the wall.
Could that be a hedge gate?
It could be used as one, yes.
You know this person how?
Well, I knew them back in the day, and then we kind of reconnected after I got this phone because it's technically my phone. Technically, everything that strange shards of glass creature owns is mine.
Oh, you
so-
didn't.
Of course I did. It's mine. Either way, you know what? She stole my life. The least I could do was take her phone. Either way, old friend doesn't ask questions, and was actually pretty hysterical on the phone. So I think we really should talk to her. It's her brother. I think I knew him back in the day.
Yes. We should go in if they are in need of comfort and if they know anything about. Then he like waves a hand again towards the cracks. It could be as you play in mirrors, Zilke. They were bursting from them. These dark things when I was undertow by evils at bay.
You're speaking in riddles as far as I'm concerned. Can you ask your question in plain German?
Right. The individual who were the huntsmen who were chasing, going after me, they too were shattering from mirrors.
Oh, well, it's not that hard.
Personas, and so it is interesting that these cracks and that they are going after, or something, it might not be them, is going after that which is close to you, if it is harboring in your domain.
It's not really my domain, it's just a thing I can do. Mirror space. Either way, let's go talk. I mean, her
Oh,
brother's probably dead already, but we should find out.
No, we will save him.
All right.
I'm gonna keep watch. I'll leave the talking to you three. You seem much more suited for it.
Oh,
I
Rudyard,
will stay with you, Rudy, and keep watch. Talking is Princeton and Silke more.
Why don't you two look around and see what you can see?
Good idea.
Rudyard, you have dulcet tones of an extremely different land. They are wonderful. If you do not wish to, that's fine. But
I'm much better just, keeping an eye out and everything. It's
yes, of course.
I'll leave the sweet talk to you two. Yeah.
We might be able to find any clue to exactly who is behind this.
Yes, but don't doubt yourself. You are wonderful.
Wouldn't think of it. Not one bit. Yeah.
Okay, so we knock on the door.
Yes, there's only one window lit. It's from the kitchen, and it doesn't take too long until a very distraught person opens the door.
Oh, my dearest lady, you look befret.
Come in. And she opens the door.
What's her name, though?
What's her name?
Her name is.
Let's say
Stephanie?
Lisa.
Oh,
Or
well,
Stephanie.
They wanted me to name her.
Yes.
Naming
So
after my
we-
German friends.
Yeah, we do. Let's call her Stephanie. Yeah. Thank you that you didn't take too long.
No,
Uh,
I'm worried about him.
Please come into the kitchen. And she closes the door behind the two of you and leads you into the kitchen. There's still the breakfast on the table. Cold coffee, burnt toast.
Is it breakfast for two? Was he clearly there for breakfast?
It was meant for two.
Okay.
In the meantime, other stuff got onto the table. Some keys, phone, lists. So, what do you need from me to find him?
When did you last talk to him?
Last night.
Just before bed?
Yeah. Yeah, yes.
Has he been acting strange recently? Has he gone out a lot? How old is he now anyway? I don't remember.
Just a little younger than me. And, since his kids left town, we moved in together. Felt right. But he usually goes to bed much later than me. It says it doesn't sleep too well.
Was anything strange in his room when you looked? Was it like a struggle, or did it look more like he just got up and left? Or like he was never there at all?
That's the bed wasn't tidied up, but there's the floor was wet from the glass of water that stood on the table next to his bed, and some things were gone.
What kind of things?
The sketchbooks he used, a pencil. He usually he's very, very protective about his stuff and the order in which it's put on the table, and some of that was missing.
Right, he's an artist, isn't he?
Developed into one.
Can we go look at his room before we commence our search?
Maybe.
Sure, yes.
Thank you.
And I think as they walk over, Channing will sort of just whisper a little, like this humming tone out. Princeton does that to sort of empathize and soothe the sister a little, so she's in less of a frenetic state.
Roll either manipulation or presence plus expression, I think, or empathy.
Okay, yeah, I'll do empathy and presence. No, that's animal kin, please and thank you. Andre? 4 successes.
That's great. You can feel that she is getting calmer. And maybe it's already the effect that's kicking in, that people can't help but like you.
So once we're in his room, is there a reflective surface?
Yes, there is. There's actually a big window and a mirror he probably uses to dress himself. It stands next by a cupboard, and all his clothes are hung up very, very neatly.
Okay. So while I'm sure Princeton is just looking around the room, seeing what he can see, Zilka is going to go straight to the mirror, and I want to use reflections of the past, where I can look in a reflective surface and see into the past. And I'm only going for like the past day, although the default time is week, so I can actually see the last week of his movements. And I will roll that.
Yeah, please roll that.
I have too many windows.
Hmm.
Is it supposed to have 3? The roll might look weird, but it's because I'm making it be the actual right amount. Because it's intelligence plus occult plus weird.
Mhm.
But there isn't a room for a third thing to add onto it. So it's going to look like a intelligence plus investigation roll. There we go. Rolled a 2. Two
Two
successes.
successes. Great. You concentrate on the surface, and as your vision closes in, you notice a tiny, fine crack in the surface. But then the pictures start moving. We will see what you see in just a few seconds. First, let's go outside. Dita and Rudyard, what are you doing?
Let's see. While they go inside, I'm gonna look at Dita and be like, look, I don't really like being here. I don't like being out in the open like this. But while we're here, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to for us to kind of divide up the yard. Because it could be a mirror that they got grabbed through, but also I just know my own personal experience. I got dragged through some shrubs, so...
Yes, you know I have already made my stance on being out here clear, so I want to get back as quickly as we can, and we can cover more ground if we divide, even though I would prefer if you stayed within sight.
Oh,
Or at least shouting range.
don't worry. I'll definitely be in sight of you. You probably won't see me, but I'll be in sight of you. You'll know if anything happens. I'll scream like a banshee.
Yes, of course, you will scream like a banshee. Yeah, go ahead.
Storyteller, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make my way to the backyard to see what I can see. If they have like a tool shed or maybe a tree house or something like that, or trees that I can climb up into.
There's a tree, yes.
Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and try to shimmy up that bad boy and try to see if I can get an elevated perception of things. Bird's eye view, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Great. You are sitting up in the branches and you can see the lights moving within the house, and you're not too far away from the window into the room of the lost brother. And you have a good look around and you see this place is untouched, but right now you're looking only with your mortal senses. If you want to have a good looking around and see if there's something magical going on, you could use your ability of canning.
Okay.
This would mean that you spend 1 point of willpower, and then you're allowed a wits plus composure roll to notice anything that would leave a trace of fey magic behind.
Excellent. I also have acute senses as a merit. Do you think I could, because that allowed me to add my weird to that roll. Do you think I could possibly use that?
I think yes.
Okay.
Yes, you're very good at this trait.
Excellent. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and do that then. So I'll do and you said wits plus composure?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. It's plus composure, and then we'll do an extra weird roll. wits and composure. Oh goodness.
I like how I gave myself the trained observer merit, but you're the one doing this.
Yeah.
Like, I get 9 again on this roll.
Goodness. All right, we're just gonna roll these 3 individuals, just so. So there's the first one. I think that rolled. Did it roll? No, it did not. Oh goodness. All right.
For the viewers, we're using Foundry Virtual Tabletop, even though it's not on the overlay.
Mhm.
So that's what we're all trying to work with right now. And I just did like 3 different games in Astral, so getting used to Foundry, like again, it's like, oh wait, how does this one work?
I'm just gonna go ahead and roll it here real quick. It works well with the attributes and the skills, but rolling 2 attributes together is... Actually, no, there's a custom rolls thing here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right. Or I can just use a like. Yeah, we're just gonna use a like thing that I have. So I'm gonna be using investigation, but that's not the actual...
Yeah, that's what I did last
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Just look at the successes.
Yeah. There we go. 3 successes.
Great. And I think it rerolled the 10. Yeah, perfect.
Excellent.
Perfect. Indeed, it's. How would it look like? Some changelings use a net made of wool between the fingers. Some look through a stone with a hole in it. Some pour salt and look at the behavior of the salt on the ground. Some put water onto their eyes. What is your way of canning?
So, Rudy climbs up and shimmies up into the tree and kind of sits there in like a gargoyle-like position. And you see him pull some glasses. I'm wearing mine because I need him to see. But he pulls some glasses out of his inner pocket from his jacket and like puts them on. And they make his eyes look very Coke bottle. He's probably very like insecure about them. But like they magnify his eyes so much. And then there's kind of like this red kind of glare that happens over them. And it kind of, it like magnifies his eyes and they look like red kind of spotlights from the tree. As he's kind of gazing over.
I think what you see is something special. Since you got 3 successes, I'm stretching out the rules a little bit of this ability. You see that the house, it's like there are banners on the outside which would declare in a very intricate and fine woven scripture that somebody is the owner of this place. This building will protect its inhabitants. But you see the traces of another line of stitching, that somebody else took a needle and a thread and put their name only for a time onto these banners. And you're reminded about an ability, an ancient contract you sometimes use yourself.
And that would be Huntsman Clarion, I believe?
No.
No. Oh.
Hostile takeover.
Hostile takeover, that is correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
What do you understand now?
Somebody's moved into this territory. Somebody's made it their own. There's a sort of turf war going on now.
It's probably already done.
Mm-hmm.
You see the other line disappearing.
Yep. It's all been
This-
taken care of.
Yes.
Can I read what the name is on the stitching? If I get closer? Oh, okay. Yeah.
No.
I didn't take that class in uni.
Yeah, I think that's what you get. On the other hand, there's Dita. And everything seems to be alright on the outside.
By the way, Dita has Maximus because he couldn't fit in the house.
It's
So-
Rudy Dita and a horse.
Yes, and the horse is
A
taking
mechanical
care
horse.
of the lawn of the garden. And
We just had this
So
horse
good-
in Berlin. It seems like that's weird enough on its own.
And leaving it with a ginormous person on someone's lawn. That is
No,
maybe...
he left him with both you and Rudy, but I think he prefers you to Rudy.
luckily, you're just a very tall person. And every one of you is hidden by the so-called mask, an illusion the reality puts around you to protect its ordinary inhabitants from the shock of fairy tales being true.
But
So you're standing.
even with the mask, Dita is quite imposing.
Yes.
Like almost 2 meters, maybe even over that. So it's still
Yes.
a weird sight.
You have a closer inspection on the garage gate, I take, and
Hmm.
it does.
And I try as well to look for any signs of disturbed earth or shrubberies or whatever. Just a normal investigation thing going on,
Yeah.
trying to find any trace of anything.
You just you don't find much. Nothing out of the ordinary until you it's a prickling feeling in your neck. It's like somebody's approaching, but you can't point into the specific direction or stuff like this. Adding up on this is the problem that your vision is still not clear.
I try to blend into the darkness on like the side of the garage or something. Just step back a little bit to get out of the light from the streetlights outside and see if I can find the source of this uneasy feeling.
Suddenly there's a rustling next to your feet. Within the last brown leaves on the earth. It's so close to you.
I look down, of course, and kind of put my hand on the hilt of my sword, ready to lunge at whatever it might be if it turns out to be something dangerous.
It's so tiny. How could it be dangerous? It's so tiny. And then it moves out of the leaves. It's a cricket. Just a cricket. But it looks at you out of its multifaceted eyes, looking up into your eyes. And without any words, it says to you, I found you.
No, I take a step back. No, go away.
Don't worry, I will get you.
No, you're not. Go away.
You are the second one. First I will get your friend, then I will get you.
I move. I swoosh the cricket with my big foot, making sure to really really grinded into the dirt.
It gives a cracking sound, which is just a notch too loud. How does it make you feel to crush this this tiny creature?
You totally had it.
Yeah. Sad. Of course, I want to protect all life, but I am not sure this is proper life anymore. It scares me, and I don't want to go back to what I was, who I was before. It saddens me, but it also thrills me a little bit as the crackling sound when I squash its carapace kind of travels up my leg a bit, and I can feel like the grinding of its parts as it totally disintegrates under my foot. And that kind of scares me as well.
But it's a good scare. The cracking noise, the dying creature, they bring the natural colors back. Just a tiny smidge, but your vision is getting better. Also, there's another noise from one of the bushes, and another cricket sits on one of the branches, and it looks at you. Are you already afraid?
No, I will never be afraid of you again. I start backing towards the back of the house where I know Rudy is. I'm kind of keeping my eyes on the cricket and like moving backwards, probably bumping into Maximus on the way, but just, making sure. And I'm kind of got this feeling that this isn't the only cricket out there.
Maybe. Then don't run away. Stay. I'm there with you. In just a blink of an eye. Only one crack of a mirror away.
You don't own me anymore. I turn around and I run towards Rudy.
And we see the flat surface of the mirror in the brother's room. How far do you go back, Zilka?
She's looking back to like the past 24 hours, definitely, but just based on how the spell works, she gets the full week.
Yes.
So she just kind of like, rewinds really quickly. I almost said fast forwards, and I was like, that's wrong. But she just like does a big rewind through the last 7 days.
You watch the life of an elderly man. He seems to be a little bit lonely, but only as he is up here. As he returns to his room from breakfast with his sister, he seems relieved, happy for a moment. You can also see him walking within his chamber for hours after the sun went down, sitting on his desk, ordering his utensils, and then making some sketches with precise movements. He's not the kind of person who would take the sketch and put it into a ugly ball and throw it into the bin. No, he savors every one of them and puts them into a folder. And he does this for hours before he goes to sleep. And the lack of light It's hard to see, but he isn't sleeping well. He's turning around all the time, waking up multiple times during the night, getting back to his desk, starting another sketch, going back to sleep. Last night, he is dreaming, you guess, as the door to the chamber opens. It's not the bright light that emanates from the staircase right now. It's a fuzzy, greenish light. The lights in the room aren't lit up. A person, cloaked in shadows, enters the room. Instead of reaching out for the person first, they go to the desk with a long, razor-sharp nail. They cut open the folder. Look at the sketches. And then they just grab all of them and devour them. They turn around to the bed, to the sleeping man, and simply touch him at his neck. He goes limp at the second. The stranger pick him up, not effortlessly. This should make some noise, but it doesn't, as the glass of water is hit by the hand of the unconscious man. They drag him to the window, and only with the slightest whisper, the intruder bids the window to open. And it does. Not leading out into the dark garden, but onto a pathway. Both sides overgrown by hedges, trees, vines, and beautiful flowers. A low-hanging moon slowly making its way over the sky, and autumn leaves are dancing in its beams. The brother is being dragged into the hedge, and the window closes behind them.
Well, I kind of figured the worst. Come on, Prince. We need to go find the others. Tell them what's happened.
So it is.
Oh, yes. Right through that window. That window there. It turned into a hedge gate.
Princeton looks at the window, and then he looks to the woman, and he puts his hands on her shoulders as she's calmed down, and he says, "Do not worry. We will bring him back."
Promise this.
Of course. And he'll reach into his pocket and just serendipitously pull out a rose. And
Zilka's just behind you,
Do you give
we
the
don't
rose to
promise
her?
these things.
oh, of course.
Come on now, let's go.
I think something very interesting is happening right now. Usually one of you could make this into a binding magical promise bound by a token.
You ain't smart.
I think in this fateful night, the power of fate and fairy itself, the word, decides to take you on your word. And you feel the burden of a made promise on your shoulders.
Yeah, it's almost like she's behind. You can see like this, like his shoulders just drop as this added Atlas weight just lands upon it.
There are pretty great rules about making promises in the book. I would not go into them right now because it concerns a lot of...
Princeton is good at many things. Thinking certain things through is not one of them.
Princeton, let's go.
Oh, yes. Ferris Maiden, do not fret. Let's go.
Bye, Steph. We're just gonna go downstairs. I like Zilka's practically like dragging you by your wrist. Like let's go.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then we go out into the back where they are.
And I think you run into a interesting looking Dita.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dita is basically standing beneath the tree that Rudy is sitting in, and almost shaking it in her excitement or no anxiety to get him down. It's like, Rudy, I knew this was a bad idea. Let's get down now.
The
now.
roots are starting to like actually pull out of the ground a little bit as you shake the tree. Because you're just so super
yeah, probably.
Whoa, calm down.
I knew this was a really bad idea. Let's go.
What's happening?
I turn towards the others as you round
Rush
the
over,
corner,
yeah.
probably.
You like
And
see Zilka from far away, and then suddenly she's just right next to you.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a moment. Stop shaking so I can climb down from this
My
thing.
keeper has found me. I
good.
told you we shouldn't have left the park.
Well, Prince Dumbass here just made a binding promise to a woman that we would find her brother.
It was a fair maiden in danger who was pressured to you. Of course I would. And he looks a little confused. He doesn't necessarily know about promises. He's very new from the hedge.
I checked it out, and he was taken by a true fae. It was a whole thing. There was art that was eaten. It was really creepy. They opened a hedge gate through the window. Yeah, no, it's great. And now, at least this one, and she kind of like points at Princeton, has to find him, or else Fairy will probably kill him. Which would be interesting to see, actually. Never seen that just happen.
That's ridiculous. The prince never dies. Like he goes like towards the tree and he like holds his arms a bit. If you need to get down, Rudyard, I will catch you.
I can. I've done this millions of times. I can do this. And you just see him just like hop down, and you hear a faint rustling of dead leaves as he just lands. He's just like, I can do it. Unless I have to roll for something, storyteller.
No, you're fine.
Perfect. Just superhero landing, 3-point landing, and then.
So what you're basically telling me is that we need to go back because you made a promise just in time to when my keeper has found me?
You know, it's actually harder to find someone in the hedge sometimes. I've got goblin friends.
We need to talk to the queen about this.
We see Rudyard while he's doing this, or is he still invisible?
Just like in the background. I'm not invisible, but I'm just like.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like always like in shadow, but just like imagine like Raven from Teen Titans. If you've seen it, just like constantly just like fucking no. Don't bring goblins into this shite. Don't bring anything. We can handle it. It's fine. Let's go talk to the queen. I think that's an excellent idea.
I like goblins better than the true fae.
Oh, fucking. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah, agreed.
I fail to see how goblins could help us in this situation, Silke.
They know everything in the hedge. All the
In the
movements, all the roads, all the best contracts. Where you get your fruit.
We should
markets?
probably talk to the queen before we do anything else. This might actually be a bigger problem than just a lost brother.
Okay. I'm done talking to the queen.
Let's go, please.
I will say, out of characters, is probably a very good place to do a break. Does that work for you, Tom?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
We're like right at the halfway point, at least for this session. We're about to go talk to a new person. This is a great place for a break.
Everything's different in the
Yes.
woods.
As far as I can see, I love the development so far. I have like much more to go for.
Okay.
So
Excellent.
This
there
may end up
isn't
being a
any
two-parter.
authority to preventing us from this. I would love to
Excellent.
ask for another session.
Well, if you're
of
gonna take us
this.
offline right now, Wes, we'll be back in just a little bit here.
Yeah, go ahead
Hi,
and get some
everybody, goodbye.
water.
Cue
and
the
we will
elevator
be
music
right back.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
We're gonna hit
Yeah.
that pre-roll.
are back. I hope you haven't ventured off the path too far, because there are many thorns. If you stick close to us, you won't get lost within the hedge. We are playing Changeling the Lost right now. We are playing as a motley of 4 amazing changelings living in Berlin in an deranged amusement park called the Spreepark. Right now, we are on the mission to find an abducted mortal who might be kidnapped by a true fae. Also, there were some threats about being recaptured by their keepers for Dieter, our ogre of the Winter Court, and Princeton, the fairest from the Spring Court. The group gathered and decided on the plan of action, which will include returning to the park for the moment and seek counsel with the Queen of Autumn. And I think we will simply fast forward back to the park. Yes, absolutely. I just have to pick the music, which I should point out is a free module called Tabletop RPG Music, which you can get with purchasing Foundry Virtual Tabletop. It is free of cost, and you just have to download the module for your software, which is pretty nice. And I luckily got the allowance to use the music for the stream. So thank you very much, dear composer. So back to music. The Queen of Autumn resides within a hollow, which is a part of the hedge in which a changeling made their home. It can be entered from the park, which you would do by going to the very, very tiny lake on which some defunct boats formed like swans are slowly being overgrown by the vegetation. You dip your feet into the water and then draw a circle with your finger around you. This will open the gate, which arises as a path made of flat stones leading to a hole within the water surface. A ladder awaits you and you climb down there. It is, and I'm missing the word, an underground place, stone walls.
A grotto?
Yes, a grotto, right, thank you. There's water running down in some places from the walls, and others are covered in moss. Some of the water is running over the floor, and you have to be careful not to drip and not to lose your balance in them. Otherwise, this place looks like the home of a witch. There's a cauldron bubbling over an open fire. There are shelves with lots of different containers made of glass, containing the most interesting specimen. Nele, not called the Queen, never been called the Queen, because she is not in need of being called by her title. She uses all of this for very very strange magics, which she casts seemingly effortlessly. It is not the wholesomest experience to meet the Autumn Queen, for she knows a lot more than she should, and some whisper. She stretches the outlines of moral to get to her goals. There's power in sacrifice. Right now, she's standing next to a cauldron. A tiny person. She's wearing a violet dress, and it is easy to ignore her, miss her presence within this bog kitchen. But she is there, and her attention turns to you. Visitors.
Hi there, Neela. How's it going? Everything looks great in here, you know? Love what you've done to the place, interior decorating everything. Getting ready for the end of the season, I see.
Yes. We'll have to transfer power in some days. I have some matters I need to take care of. If you are looking for opportunities, I'm here.
Oh,
I got them.
Oh, I totally understand. Transfer of power and all that, you know, you gotta take down the jack-o'-lanterns and you gotta put up the tinsel, all that good stuff. Oh yeah, completely.
Mm-hmm. So, why would you wander into my home?
I'm gonna let one of them handle that. You know. You and I, we've got our understanding, but I think they can verse it in better words than I can. You know, it's been a rough day.
Princeton, do you want to tell the queen what you did, or should I?
I can tell the valiant tale, of course.
Go for it. I'm sure she'll be very receptive.
Yes. So, should I start with the beginning or at the house, or... You know what? I'll start. The more pressing point is I had come back from an interesting dalliance outside of the park, where I had a roguish encounter with an individual, and managed to seize away from them and get back to the park, who was perhaps working for my old keeper. But anyway, more importantly, when we got there, Silke had a friend who was in need, and so we left. There was strangeness about their home, and it turns out that someone from the hedge has taken the brother of their beloved companion. And I, of course, as one should, and he sort of, you know, like dips a little, puts the hands in his chest. He's explaining all of this so eloquently. Promised them that I would valiantly, and we would as a group, you know, valiantly work as the heroes of this story to bring their brother back. And during that time, I believe from what I understood, Dita was outside and there was a cricket, and this monstrous cricket was destroyed by Dita's superior strength. But it too called of a land past Arcadia.
Are you deflecting the fact that you made a promise, Princeton, to find this brother?
Yes, I promise. And there isn't a clarity to his eye. He clearly doesn't understand like what that actually means. He baby. He's only been here for maybe a month or two.
Queen Neela, he swore an oath. I felt it bind.
She looks at Princeton. And it's like
somebody slowly peeling layer by layer the skin from your arms. And then all of you get the sensation. It's the water around you. It's curling up in concentric waves. And you feel the power of her invoking her magic, and she's looking right into you. Are you resisting?
I'm resisting.
You are.
Yeah,
Okay.
these are my secrets.
Sure.
I've done this before. It's okay. You can like a water fountain. Just go ahead and press the button and take them out of me.
I don't think Princeton lets her either. I think he resists. He's probably not good at it, but he does.
I have nothing to hide.
Great. She concentrates for the most part on Princeton. And she wants to read you. You deny it. And it comes to a clash of wills. And I had this prepared somewhere. But now it's gone. So we will improvise. Please take your resolve plus your composure, add your virt, and roll that in dice. And I will roll for her.
It's not like we've said this before. It's not going to look right because shenanigans.
That's fine. Don't worry about calling it out in the future. Just roll the correct amount of dice.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how you did that.
I don't know how you like got mostly just successes.
This is why I don't, because I wouldn't get that.
Listen, Princeton Channing is a complex individual.
Not your average himbo.
Not your average himbo.
She
Oh, he also has a thing for hidden emotions. I should have added that, but oh well.
she frowns massively at you. And suddenly Rudyard feels a pull. And you feel that she is reaping your memories about what happened within the last hour from you. And after a short while, they return. But it's like somebody takes away a photo of you and takes out all of the papers, and then, after looking through them, just put them in there with a very, very disregarding gesture and throwing the photo back at your head. What do you expect from me? Except for making an example of what happens to people who endanger everything we are working for.
Mr. Princeton.
Technically, Channing, I think, is the last name we went with, but yes, Princeton Channing.
She's probably calling you Mr. Forename.
Rudy steps back a little bit in the shadows, just like, no focus on me. It's okay.
Yes.
Oh, is that a new vine that you have there? Let me just look at that real quick.
I find it interesting that my keeper, Lord Esk, finds me, manages to locate me at the same time as this person disappears, at the same time that Mr. Princeton here is hunted by huntsmen close to the park. I thought it important to inform you about things happening around here, even though it sadly means that we might have overstepped our boundaries a bit.
Or he just regained his power after the last losses he received. Ask. We had people dealing with him. Sadly, they are out of reach right now. More a higher activity of hunters may be connected to the near at hand change of power. They're assuming we're at our weakest right now. Still, our oath to autumn will mean that they will always have to give us omen and signs before they can attack us.
Lord Esk will probably stop at nothing to get what he wants. In this case, he claims he wants me.
Oh, I have a good solution for this problem. Why don't we take our troubadour over there and make sure that with their eagerness, a spell will be fueled to keep Esk away. It won't hurt much.
I'm sorry to say so, but if we start giving up our people, even with the purest of intents, it's what will be left for us. And we have to stand together with honor.
Don't take me for an imbecile. Of course I wouldn't sacrifice him.
Oh,
Although
no,
he
no.
probably deserves it. So, the problem I see is this promise, which will majorly fuck us over if you don't fulfill it. I feel its weight here without being involved in it. You might have messed up.
And Princeton's face is oddly very impassive when she says all this, as if nothing seems to glean through beyond the veneer there. This cordial expression. I do believe, as we have all said, that the duties we have here are to our fellows who have been lost. And may they be found, and there is a lost who needs to be found. How could we ignore such a thing?
We won't. For whatever reason, we won't. Just to give me an impression of how deep we are in this. What did you say exactly? And what did you do?
I promised her that we would find her brother, and she was a maiden in need.
Cut
so
the shit. Tell me the details.
I told her we would find her brother, and I gifted her a rose. I carry many of them in seeds, and they bloom, and...
Yes, great. Did you
Good
also
news. Good
promise
news.
to save...
Sorry, Queen.
She is very close to a breakout. You better make this important.
The good news is that we didn't promise to bring him back alive.
Wonderful. Great.
It looks like gas. Did you even make a suggestion that we wouldn't? Mild gasness. Of course we would.
Good. But it was sealed by a token, right?
But she's
A gift.
bereft. So I tend to want to soothe the nerves. It's what I do. And like, you sort of like, I'm not even realizing, and a hand flicks to the pocket and another rose just comes out right to her.
Oh, I have an idea. To fulfill your mission, you will need something to find back. You will wrench deep into the hedge, I imagine. Let's take this. And she picks the flower from your hand. Then, with a swift movement of her other hand, she grabs your arm, pushes one of the thorns in your thumb, and then drops the whole hand into the boiling cauldron.
There's no reaction to the pain, like the complete hide of that emotions. As his hand just drops into the liquid as she manhandles him. No scream of indignation, no pain, just this cheer.
She pulls the hand out again. It is only slightly red. There was just a short sting of heat. But now it's already cool again. Another droplet of blood falls into the cauldron. But the liquid inside already turned red. Then she puts the flower, the rose, blossom first, to the cauldron and gets it out again. Then she gives it to you. This will bring you back if you ever should lose your way. Only once.
Thank you, my lady. He just tucks this one instead, like into the shirt instead of in the pocket, so he knows it's the special one.
Anything else I can help you with?
I think you've done plenty for us today. You've done quite a bit. You know, you've been very, very welcoming, letting us in here into you. I just love what you've done with the place. It looks phenomenal. You're doing a fantastic job. The flower, it looks lovely. You've done great. And he, like, Rudy just goes up and like puts his hands on Princeton and is like, I think we're gonna go take care of this promise. Just nip it right in the bud real quick. It won't take us. We'll be back in a pip. It won't even matter. Isn't that right, Princeton? We're ready to go.
Of course. Time's of the essence.
Yeah.
Thank you, though, my lady. And, like, he will take her hand if she would let him and kiss it.
Sure. She
You have this feeling she's preparing a special place in hell for you right now.
And there's just no concern of it on his face at all.
Great. Great. This went brilliantly. I think the...
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that Dita bows and kind of backs out of the grotto thingy.
Ilka does her weird thing where she kind of like starts walking backwards and then suddenly she's kind of at the entrance, but she looks like she's really far away. No one really knows where she is at any given time.
Hey, Princeton. Bye, Nina. Bye. Thank you so much. You've done so much for us. You're just wonderful. You're just wonderful. And then like, hey, Princeton. The next time you come into a court of somebody that, you know, is in charge of something and is in, like, the season of power and everything like that, just don't go kissing fingers or, you know, making promises about making promises or anything. Just nod your head and agree and say, oh, yes, of course. Yes, of course. Take care of it right away.
Is that the etiquette? I'm sorry, this is only the second time since I was first brought here that I've ever been to the one of the... Yes.
Yeah, lad. That's proper etiquette, yeah.
Where do you think we should start with this mess?
Well, Silka said that he got dragged into the hedge, so I reckon that's where we might be headed.
So into the hedge. Into the woods, into the woods.
Exactly where I want to be. On a Tuesday afternoon, you know? Thanks a lot, Princeton.
And where do we go after that? What else did you see, Silke?
Not a lot, just a pathway, but I find that the Goblin Market is the best place to ask questions. They know everything.
If you want to bring the goblins into this, then that's on you. And make sure that it's on you and not the rest of us.
We might acquire some fruit. Don't you want some goblin fruit?
I am fine.
This is just like the best day ever. I just want to let you all know. This is like exactly what I wanted to be doing.
Well, I'm so glad we could do that for you. Just your facetiousness, just...
Yeah, Goblin Court, let's go. Yeah, it's so great. Lead the way, Silka.
Okay, I guess you want me to open the gate then? I will spend a point of glamour to open a hedge gate once we get a little bit farther away from the freehold.
Actually, there's a pretty nice place for this. It's called the Eye House, which is the Egg House in English. It is a former cafe, and it's a lonely place in the middle of the woods. It's very unlikely for mortals to stumble into this place and opening one of the already existing gates into the hedge by accident. So many of you use this place, and some of the gates are already leading to established trots through the hedge. It's a pretty good hub for you.
Did I recognize anything else about the trot or anything when I saw him getting dragged away, or was it just kind of your basic, like, overgrown hedge road with the moon over it?
As you're thinking back, you remember you saw some water, maybe a river close to the Spree, the hedge, the hedge resembles a maze of hedges and small river arms, so that would be still pretty close to your current location. And there was something else. You think you saw a tower of sorts far away in the background.
Mm-hmm. So I'm describing this all to them, too, so that we can see if anyone is familiar with it.
No, not right now. But it's something you could maybe use later.
Right. Awesome.
So, it's another lost place. It's far outside of the park itself, so not too many take up residence here. Without the protection of the fence of the park and your companions, it's just too dangerous to stay out here alone. But you can use the doors. What does it look like as Silke opens the gate? What do you whisper to it?
I'm going to say that she kind of bends down, and there's like branches on the ground and everything, and she touches them and kind of runs her hands along them, and she's whispering to them in a language that nobody else understands. It's not an actual language. And then as she does this, they just form up into an archway of sticks and brambles and rocks. And in the middle, it starts glowing very softly. Not in a solid way. You can still see the other side, but it looks almost as if there's like a heat wave in the air. Like it's rippling a little bit. And then as she walks through, she disappears.
Yes.
Right away, Princeton and Maximus just like no hesitation, just through, like on knee forward.
Just love it when you do that. Yeah, just great.
I bring up the rear, of course.
And I'll be in the middle with my hands in my pocket and my Walkman headphones on and everything.
You enter the hedge, and the first thing you notice is the wet wind, which is bringing the cold. The transition of the seasons already started in here. You can feel the December winds which carry the cold rain, the hail, the first snow. They are carrying away the brown and yellow and red leaves from the four verdant plants. The hedge around you is wilting, but this only means that you can see the bare thorns, the grasping claw-like twigs and branches. It's aura of danger. It's just more open. And nonetheless, there's still beauty found within them. A last red golden apple, silver twinkling, sheets of ripped paper with secrets written down on them, a half-rotten corpse, or something inhuman, with their rusting armor, ready for taking if you were only willing to leave the trot, to venture into the thorns. This place has its own illusions, but yours are taken away. No mask hides you. There's no more pretending to be a human. Your true changeling forms are revealed, and I would love for you to tell us what you're truly looking like.
I'll start. She is still roughly humanoid shaped, but she is sinewy and moves in a way that is just incredibly unsettling, like the girl from The Ring or something. Like she's just everything about her movements is wrong. Her skin is very, very, very white, and if you look closely, it looks like TV static, like just running across her skin all the time. Her eyes are solid black lenses, just as if they're recording everything, but they have no real expression of their own anymore. And her already unsettling smile is just impossibly wide here, and filled with jagged metal teeth, as if those of a cassette tape player or similar.
Dita, yeah,
Go for it.
sorry. Dita is tall, big, and muscular, of course. Her gray skin almost reminds you of stone, as it is hard and leathery, and she has like ridges, like on her arms, in her face, on her cheeks, almost reminds you of a carapace, like she has like this subdermal armor, almost protruding through her skin. She wears plain clothing in shades of gray as well. She makes almost like a big statue in some ways, and on her back is a cloak of almost looks like pieces of shale, like fused together to form almost a scaly cloak. She has almost no hair on her head. It's except for one long, thick single braid going from the top of her head and way down to the small of her back. She looks quite imposing and a little bit nervous, actually, being here.
Excellent. I'm just going to go ahead and lean into the brand. So Rudyard has shifted a little bit. The leather jacket has become like a cloaked kind of rag a little bit. His skin has darkened, like he's covered with soot and like dirt from woods and trees and forest. His eyes have widened where there's cracks, and they're red, like traffic light red. And he's got wings on his back that seem useless. They seem broken, and like they're made out of dead leaves. And his arms have grown a little bit longer past his knees, and they seem muscular, but his hands have long fingers. He looks oddly almost like a certain cryptid from West Virginia, but a little bit different, a little off. A little bit different than normal, and his mouth is kind of like a mandible almost. There's not like it looks like a human insectoid kind of hybrid of a mouth,
like a moth man?
like a moth
Like
man.
a Mothman.
Like a Mothman.
What?
But there's a hyphen. No TM.
It's man moth instead of mothman.
Man
kind
moth,
of like
yeah.
how they
Man
get
moth.
Man moth.
Sand bat. Yeah.
It's a thirst man moth. It comes to the bottom of water. So yeah, perhaps even farthest from that is Princeton Channing. It's like an actor walked out of Disney. The full regalia attached, everything is shades of finery and golden and everything, and the skin it's soft and supple and silken, but if you really press your fingers into it, you notice it's edged almost like bone, as if it could be carved and replaced to fixed. The face is smiling, but again, it's clearly a pinned position that cannot change despite how gallant and inviting it looks. There's almost like a hardness and form of these immaculate gestures, as if any movement otherwise would cause terrible pain. Saber at his side, and a joyous expression that is inescapable. Hi, Wes.
What a motley crew we are.
Yeah.
What a motley we are.
What a motley. Yeah.
It's almost like we used that word already for the
Yeah.
Seen by the game's authors. Great.
Oh, and Maximus is a dazzling mechanical horse that's just badass.
I could imagine it having a carved beam through his back, at which it would be fastened to the merry-go-round.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
yeah.
sorry, I just see Mary Poppins in front of me. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't be. Just enjoy the beautiful sight the 4 or 5 of you present to the denizens of the hedge. Behind you, the gate disappears in thin air. Between the trees, you can see the lights from the Ferris wheel. In reality, there are no lights, but here, they're shining like a beacon. You're still close to reality, to the iron world. But every step you take will carry you further away from here. And you have a long path before you. So, state your goal. Where do you want to go?
I know it won't take us straight to him. I still think we should talk to the goblins.
I don't think I've ever met the goblins.
Have you not?
I don't think so.
Yeah, let's just get Princeton here a crash course and everything. It's fine. It's fine.
It's gotta learn sometime.
Lead the way, Silke. Just lead the way.
There's no avoiding it. Yeah, we're in it now.
All right, so Zilka has Hobkin, so she gets along with goblins on some level, unless they're like actively hostile. And she also has a couple of goblin contracts, which you may or may not know about her at this point. So she just leans down, and she whispers into the road in front of her, and kind of into the thorns around her, that she wants the hedge to take them to the nearest goblin market, where they can find information.
Sure. As a seasoned veteran of the hedge, you know this place is more being than an environment.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that reacts to you and to dreams and to the wheels of fate. So it reacts to you. You know the path will lead you to a market, but will it be a safe one?
I mean, is there really such thing as a safe market?
Markets are actually, compared to the rest of the hedge, pretty safe, since
True.
they have laws you have to obey.
But there is still a whole hedge thing in place.
Yes.
You know it's a
It's
safe
still the
market?
hedge.
A farmer's market, not in the hedge. It's really great. Just go get some peppers or something, you know?
Boston Market.
So,
Boston Public Market.
I need to know, how do you want to go traveling this path? How would you know that you're on the right track? Are you forcing your way through it? Are you looking for the minor details and take some shortcuts as the path tries to lead you away from your aim that you're getting back on there? Are you picking up on signs on the way? Creatures that are moving forwards to the market? What is your way of approach?
I think Zilka would be looking for like signs and portents and whatever she can see that she interprets as this is the way to go.
Then I think this would be intelligence or wits plus survival plus your wit rating to start a race against the hatch that you have to succeed to not get lost.
Okay. I got 1 success.
This is great. You're making progress. And although there's this shining armor and this one bottle corked with the message inside, just out of your arm's reach, you stay focused. You stay on your path. You don't get distracted, and you make way. You got 1 success towards your goal of 7 to reach the market. And we come to a new place. Off of the road, there's an old farmhouse. Or something that somebody who never seen a farmhouse tried to build in a resemblance to that. It does have a lot of the necessary things like a roof and walls and doors and windows and a giant gate for a wagon, and it's just like maybe they shouldn't have put a garden directly in front of the gate with a fence in front of it so you couldn't open it. And there's a well, which is pretty pointless since there's a small river directly to the building, so you wouldn't have to take water from the ground and stuff like this. It's just slightly off and misunderstood. And then there are the fields. Of course, most of them are already harvested. But there's one last. And it's bearing just the most precious pumpkins, size of a fist. And it's not too far away. It's actually, there's a path. You just take a second, go off the trot, take the path, get to the field. If you want to go there.
I don't think Zilka would, because she's done some trot exploring, but I can see some of our junior members possibly being enticed by this.
You would also need something for trade.
I'm just waiting to see what Princeton's gonna do. I'm just like staring at Princeton, like,
Yeah, because I mean, Princeton knows they have a mission. So like, I don't think he's one to go off of the path to go to these pumpkins. But at the same time, I think he's wondering if you can cajole the pumpkins to come to him. Yeah, I think I think he's sort of next to Maxis, and he sees this, and I think he knows you have to. He doesn't know exactly what a goblin market is, but he knows you must barter at markets, and they didn't really bring anything. So yeah, I think he wants to perhaps persuade or cajole the pumpkins to just come to them.
How would you talk across a path to a hatch?
He sings.
Oh, interesting.
He sings. It's just sort of a raucous melody of we're off to the markets and all must attend and go. And pumpkins, you're running late. How on earth can we bring back a missing prince if we have no pumpkin carriage?
This sounds amazing. You know, luckily for us, there's just the rule for this situation. You know, just as Silke started with finding the path and talking to the hedge, you can influence it. Actually, it is connected to your emotions, to your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And by this, you can change it. And it sounds like you're playing a magical tune, which would be presence plus, what's it called? I always forget this one. Expression.
All right.
Plus your word rating. And you will take a -3 modifier on this. But every success you get allows you to change the form and behavior of the hedge for a second.
Okay. So I'm taking a -3 to this. Okay.
It might be the right moment to remember everyone about your willpower. You can spend a point of willpower for 3 additional dice.
Oh, heck yeah.
You want those pumpkins so bad.
I do. I kind of want them to turn into a pumpkin carriage. I think that would be very dope. Okay.
Pumpkin roller skates for all of us.
Pumpkin roller skates. So I'm futzing with things, so it gives me the actual right amount of dice. Yes, I'm going to spend a willpower for that. 3 successes.
This sounds pretty sufficient to me. I think we see the pumpkin plant actually starting to move. The slowly rotting greenery is stretching out its arms into your direction, and the withering leaves are moving like feet towards you, and then the fruit itself heaves itself up from the ground, and you see wet earth break as the plants start to move away. It's just this moment as I hear a tiny, tiny voice squeaking out, "What are you doing there?" And out of between the plants comes a figure not bigger than a hand. It looks like a mouse, bearing the skull of a cat as a helmet. And it's carrying a shovel, which staff hilt, whatever, is formed out of a broken pencil. What are you doing there? These are mine! And the hobgoblin starts running after its pumpkins.
Mate, it seems that you pissed off a hobgoblin. You're gonna have to pay him or something like that. You can't just take things willy-nilly.
But it's for the journey.
Just because you see it like that doesn't mean he's gonna see it like that either.
Well, it seems he also is carrying something that might not belong to him, but he's scavenged. So perhaps we can We could just talk this out. He'll understand his role to play.
Good luck with that there. Look, rules are different down here, okay? They might apply to you, but they don't apply to them. You're in their territory. You're in their turf, all right?
I don't understand the purpose of the pumpkin.
For the market. For some level of bartering, but also a carriage. We should have a pumpkin carriage. How else are you going to get an unconscious individual back?
But pumpkin is not a fruit.
It's also,
It's a fruit.
they've got them all
Pumpkin
over the
It
place.
is.
You might have to offer something a little bit more wealthy than just a pumpkin there, lad.
So you probably shouldn't steal if you're gonna get caught.
That's a big one. Yeah, stealing's bad.
It's not stealing if it wants to come with me. It's choosing to.
You sure you didn't like ask it a little?
Or suggest
Well,
it.
I let it know that such a situation was occurring, and it would benefit it if it came along. It would play an interesting role to the story.
So you intimidated it.
No, not at all. It wants to play its part.
I don't think we should linger. If he gets back, maybe we should leave the pumpkins and the hobgoblin.
Honestly, the pumpkins are grand, but it's carrying a broken pencil. Was a pencil not taken from?
We don't need to anger the goblin.
No, you don't have to anger it.
Right, just let the pumpkins go, darling.
Oi.
Oh.
Oi. Princeton. How much cash you got on you?
None.
No.
Zero resources.
We'll find a way to work this off. I'm gonna go after the hobgoblin.
Okay.
Rest
No,
of
no.
the finery, though.
It is happily that finally somebody pays him attention as he's standing there bashing with his pencil shovel onto the vines which are moving away from him, and he tries to cut them off, and nobody's reacting to his screaming.
I'm gonna get on his level. I'm gonna be like, hey there, lad. Hey. Oh, yeah, I know this is really upsetting, isn't it?
It is!
Look, I just want to let you know that I hear you and I see you, okay? I'm upset too. I didn't know this was gonna happen at all. Look, you obviously care quite a bit about that pumpkin.
It is mine! It is my pumpkin!
What if I offered an exchange for the pumpkin?
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm. You ever heard of a Walkman there before, lad?
Walking man?
A bit like that, yeah. And I unclip the Walkman from my belt and I take the headphones off around and I set it down. It's about as big as this guy is. And I set it down beside him. I'm like, why don't you take a listen to this, huh? Just get up close to those headphones. And then I press play and it's playing some. So let's see here. What
And
have I
that
what's it
would walk
playing?
5,000 miles.
It is playing. Here, let me go ahead and bring it up. Oh, good. Golly, Miss Molly. You owe me. We've moved to X marks. No. Ice and Funk. Just some Ice and Funk. Just like a nice mixtape that I have. It's got a bunch of different stuff on there, but it's currently playing Ice and Funk right now, which is, very clanging, industrial, electronic body music.
And this will make me into a walking? And then he puts his ears towards the speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a change within the goblin. It starts growing and growing further and suddenly you are on the ground. And a human-sized mouse with a cat skull imprinted into its face, with the expression of mild pain, picks up the Walkman. This is quite helpful. Take your pumpkins.
I reach in my pocket and I pull out also just like a Ziploc bag of batteries. And I just hand them over. I'm like, you're going to need those too. Just if it stops playing, just go ahead and switch them out. But thank you for the pumpkins.
Wait. What else do you need?
I look over behind me and I'm like, what else do we need? Do we need anything like
So
that?
where did the pencil?
Well, no, we don't want the pencil.
No, but where did it come from?
Hey,
It probably the real world. It happens.
how long have you been around here? Can I ask you a question, maybe? Question for batteries?
Sure. A question for the batteries.
Per battery.
How many batteries are you giving to it?
It's just 4 batteries in a Ziploc
4
bag.
batteries.
4 batteries.
The goblin counts the batteries and finally concludes 4 questions.
And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of us, so each 4 of us can ask a question to you.
Sure.
Sounds like a perfect deal. All right. Anybody else want to go first?
Sure. Do you know of this place? And I described the like tower with the trod leading to it, and the river and the moon hanging overhead. And...
I was once close to it, yes.
That's my question. That's all I can actually ask. No elaboration.
Who's next?
Princeton will look to Suck It. Do you have a better follow? I'm better at asking for,
I've got a follow-up question. How do we get there?
I'm not quite sure. But there's a place not too far away I could give you the directions to, which is closer to this place.
That'd be perfect, mate.
You see, there's a tree made out of stones. And the fingers of this tree reach down to the ground. And they drink their own blood. From this place, you can see the tower. But I advise you to be careful. There are multiple paths leading away from this tree, and I don't know which one is safe. This will give you 2 additional successes towards your chase. So you have 3 out of 7.
Sufficient? Dita and Princeton, you each got a question.
Have you seen anyone else but us pass through here lately?
Yes.
Of course.
Can you please describe those who passed through other than us?
He just says yes, I swear to God.
Sure.
I
describe?
think it's.
Mhm.
I think it's probably the presence of Zerka which compels the goblin to further explain.
He's such a presence.
I mean, I could also utilize something here.
Yeah, I've got some stuff.
I've got some intimidation. Yeah.
If we need to cajole this, we've got some options.
So, there were many people traveling this path. It's a common route. There were these tiny fellas, and he picked something from beneath a leaf, and it's a cricket. They were just all over the place. I'm very happy they are not the fruit eating kind. You see, that would be horrible from a harvest, but luckily they aren't. I take they got some messages.
Dita leans over and kind of snatches the cricket from it and kind of just squeezes it in the hand, throws it away.
The porcelain filter from your eyes disappears.
That one is gone, I see. Well, then there was a pretty scary guy dragging somebody else down the path. I couldn't get a clear sight on them. It's, folks traveling disguised. It's dangerous to peep on them. So I keep to myself. Don't want to get any problems. In the end, they will call the federals, which would be very bad for me.
Well, I guess that's your questions for.
Yes.
I think Princeton's gonna lean close. I have a quick mechanics question. Does a token disappear if you use it in something? Contract? Does it like consume it?
As long as it's not written within the contract that you're losing it, it's not gone.
Okay. I think Princeton will lean and whisper to us, okay, I could try and do something to get him to be more amenable to really thinking about telling us more about this, or do you think this is enough of what he might have seen, of pressing for details?
I think we've probably done enough to him
Okay.
for the day.
All right.
He gave us some useful information.
Plenty. And he just like nods and like straightens up again to that like this perfect soldier stance.
We get ready to leave. I'm going to turn back and go, oh, one more thing. If anybody asks who's the most generous folk around here, who should I tell them?
The most generous folk?
I like start pointing at him like,
Oh, I think to get its name, you have to roll manipulation plus persuasion, maybe.
ooh, yes, now you're talking my language.
Hey.
Not good at this, but it's okay.
And if you
help?
don't succeed, maybe I can persuade.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let's go for it. Let's try it here. Boo doo doo. Do 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 do. Zero successes.
So I have a thing. Where is it? Where is it? Sorry. I have a contract that does something for this because you just failed. Where essentially all of that gets rewritten.
If you got it for it, go for it.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which one it is because there's so many. I think it's Changing Fortunes. There we go.
Been spending a lot of time just like searching the PDF for my contracts while we're doing other things, so I could be like, what does this do again?
Yeah, I was like, I know it is, but what is this name
I've
again?
got so many bookmarks.
Changing Fortunes. You had a dramatic failure, right? That's 0 zeros.
Zeros.
A dramatic failure would be him not succeeding with one die,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
if I'm right.
So it wasn't dramatic.
Dixie, am I
failure.
right? I think I'm right.
I think so. It always takes me a second to remember because I work
Yeah,
on 18
otherwise it
game
would-
systems.
Just be a failure.
Okay,
And
well,
if you reduce your chance die by modifiers and then don't succeed, it would be a dramatic failure.
Yeah.
But you always have the option to go for dramatic failure. What do you horribly wrong so Princeton would have to rewind time for you?
Voluntary dramatic failures are great.
Yeah. Oh, let's do it. What would go? Okay, yeah. At that point, like, I reach out to be like, who can I call? You know, like point to you. It's like, yeah. Who can I say? And I accidentally knock the Walkman out of our friend's hands here, and it falls to the ground. And like, it's just like a moment of staring at the Walkman, staring at each other.
And the cable would disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And by this, the music stops.
Mm-hmm.
And you see the transformation reversing. And it's getting tiny again and looking very, very angry at you.
And what happens, Princeton?
So he whispers this elegant tale of you succeeding and having this cajoling experience and wanders back and forth because of course he is the most judged individual, and the Walkman walks back, and your next action, the reroll, by a 2 dice modifier, 1 exceptional threshold per success, to only once. So it looks like you get a reroll. It's
Okay.
a wits and occult plus weird.
Wits and occult plus weird?
Yeah, I think I have to.
Do you roll it or do I roll it?
Oh wait, is that only if? Yeah, it's wits and occult plus weird. I believe I roll it. Question mark.
All right, go for it.
Weird.
Yeah, just roll it. We'll figure it out later if we were wrong
Yeah.
or right. It's not the deal.
We're here to have fun and make a narrative adventure.
Yes.
I don't really care how people roll. And yes, you were correct though. A dramatic failure is only a 1 on a chance die unless the player chooses to dramatically fail to get a beat.
Uh-huh.
Or to regain the power, whatever you get when you dramatically fail. Too many game systems. Story paths, storyteller, storytelling, D&D, Cyberpunk Rad.
All
Oh
under
my
the
lord.
hood. Yeah.
1 success.
That's enough, I guess.
Excellent.
So, what happens as the sparkling fireworks emit from you as you once again use your magics?
So it's essentially changing the tide, which allows the changing of fortunes. Which, from what I'm reading of this, it looks like Wes gets to re-roll again,
Mhm.
and it's a 2. It's a 2 by a 2 dice modifier or 1 success exceptional threshold shift per success.
Excellent. Okay. So I get to add 2 dice or I get to shift a success.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and take those extra 2 dice then. And we'll just roll. All right. Manipulation. And then. All right. And then I'll just roll. What is adjusted with that? We'll do. Yeah, athletics, that'll be fine because that adjusts for it. And then roll 2 successes.
Great. What do you do immediately to get back into the good graces of
I immediately pick up the Walkman. I dust it off a little bit. I make sure the batteries are still in there perfectly. And then I grab, and I'm like, in case this ever happens again, I'm so sorry about that, lad. In case it ever happens again, you just have to plug it back in just like that. And I plug the Walkman back in and then hit rewind and then play.
The goblin transformation occurs once again. But this time, it's very close to your face. And you have the opportunity to look into the hollow cat skull's eyes. And beneath them, there's only darkness. It's just nothing. And from the glaringly blank teeth comes the voice, far too close to your ears. Be aware that nothing bad happens to you, and you don't take any other pumpkins from Earthclaw.
And I go, no more pumpkins. That's right. All the pumpkins are yours there, lad.
And then it withdraws from you, making sure that you're not on its field. And then it's probably noticing that something else happened here. Princeton used his magic, and he's part of spring. So the hatch reacts. And I think what happens is that the plants are actually growing new blossoms to carry once more. Tita, what did you for all this time?
Dida has been standing a few steps from this entire interaction, keeping an eye on the surroundings and feeling a bit uneasy during all this exchange. Just wary that the use of magic might actually draw someone or something's attention towards us.
I see. This would be a very bad thing to happen, right? There was a cricket. You saw it. You smashed it, actually. I think for just the slightest millisecond. The tiniest movement of your eyelids. You got contact. You saw each other. It couldn't speak, but I think part of the message came through.
He knows I'm here, I say to the others. Sorry.
It's all right.
Well, then I guess we better get a move on. Go find this tower.
Yeah. Question. So when I was controlling, did one of the pumpkins turn into like a ginormous pumpkin carriage? Did I manipulate it enough that it changed shape to fit the narrative?
What do you offer? Point of willpower, some glamour.
No, we're not going directly to the market, so maybe it's not worth it to offer anything. Yeah.
I think having a pumpkin carriage is a significant advantage, honestly.
You think? I think
No, I think it's not.
It's
I
not,
don't
yeah,
think it's
no.
great.
No,
I think
they're
having the pumpkins themselves, if we like each have one,
yeah.
it's like trading.
Yeah.
It's probably
Okay,
way
yeah.
better.
Then we just have like the 4 little very cute face tiny fist pumpkins.
Great.
That can become a carriage later if need be.
Sure, why not? Also, they're actually feeling pretty soft in your hands. They're ripe. They're ripe to burst. And they are goblin fruits. Who knows what will happen if you bite into them?
Ooh. This feels really soft for a pumpkin. I mean, I haven't had pumpkin in a really long time, but he's just like holding it.
Just hold on to it for later. Just
They seem quite brittle to me.
everything's brittle to you, Dita.
I think you put them away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you leave this farmstead with the walking man, Earthclaw, behind. And you get back to your trot. The goblin gave you directions, and you follow them. Somehow, having this fixed point, even though you can't see it, does make navigating the hedge much more easier. And you have this feeling the way leads slightly uphill. That's why you can see through some bare branches a movement. 3, maybe 2 individuals are walking on a not too far away path. They're moving like sated hunters, as if they had a full belly. They're carrying a big package, something on its own feet, but put into a sack. And the first of the in nice green and golden colored armors is bearing a standard. And on the standard, you can see the emblem of an ash tree with its branches reaching up into the sky and holding grasp of the stars. And 1 or 2 of you might identify these symbols as the insignia of the Feylord Esk. And that's the point at which I say thank you for playing this little game of Changeling the Lost with me.
You
Thank
are
you.
evil.
Oh, what a pause point.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, so for the audience, it is a one shot, but we agreed to do multiple sessions if we need to do for the one shot, so we'll be back.
It's a double tap.
Double tap.
I just have to explain this to Troz. Because until very close, I was still under the impression that this will be a one shot, and I was very careful with.
Travis will find us sometime.
Okay.
We'll make it happen.
We will.
Oh,
We will. I have.
next time I'm playing a really ditzy, fickle character. I'm not
No,
gonna
you-
be the one.
You get to be Dita continuously because it's not over.
Yeah. I mean, next.
Like
Next
game.
oh, our
yeah.
next
Next game.
Yeah, because this I'm totally just counting on getting to play more with you guys. So.
Aw.
Oh. I'm always down to play with you all. It's such a great time.
Little good cadre.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you to Tom for running this for us. This is Changeling the
Oh, yeah.
Lost. One of my favorite games that I never get to play. My name's Dixie. A lot of you might know me from the Onyx Path cast. I'm one of the in-house developers and editor at Onyx Path Publishing. Changeling the Lost is one of the first core books I edited, and I fell in love with it. The wonderful Rose Bailey and Megan Fitzgerald developed the hell out of this. Everything about it makes me happy. The character I'm playing is from an upcoming book called Kith and Kin. We also have a Changeling supplement called Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and we have some novellas coming out, which I'm very excited about. There's one for each season. So there's a lot of Changeling content still coming up, which I'm super excited about. We also just put The Hedge into production very recently, which is a whole supplement about the Hedge. So we're running off the core right now and a little bit of extra rules, but there is so much more to explore in this. Just a big thank you to Tom. And if people want to go around, you can find me at Dixie Cyanide. You can find us at the Onyx Path. And Wes, where do people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at BrotherXWes and at Comfort Carrion at twitch.tv/Carrion Comfort Studios. Taking a little bit of a mental health break until the end of the month here. December always gets rough, but we're coming back into January. And we're going to be starting back up with more Iron City by Night and Rage Across Birmingham. So it's both Vampire the Masquerade V5, Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th edition, 20th anniversary edition, and even more. There's Lancer, there's a bunch of other stuff. And now I want to do more Changeling the Lost. So we might be doing some more Changeling the Lost. I devoured this book before leading up to this. Like, I bought it and I was just like tearing through it. So
I am entirely here if you ever need a Changeling player. I love Changeling.
Oh, okay. No, definitely.
Kay?
Yeah, I'm Kay, and you can find me on Mondays at 7:30 p.m. on Gehenna Valley on Gehenna Gaming's Twitch. I'm also in their Discord as Sweet Summer Child because I always know nothing. It's not it's not just this adorable boy.
All right, Jenny?
You totally don't find me anywhere, so.
Well, you can find Jenny occasionally playing with Red Moon Role Playing, who we love very much.
Yeah,
And our partners of ours.
and I do have a Twitter account, but it's totally not active. But it's Spel Mamma, which is gaming mom, basically. So that's it. I'm not a social media person at all. So yeah.
That's okay. Tom?
Yeah, I'm Tom Murr. I did some stuff with and for Red Moon Role Playing, and I'm easy to find on the Gehenna Gaming Discord server, where I hang out and talk about super stuff. Then there is my Twitter, which is Tom Murr, TOMMURR, and then the number 2, because somebody else was faster than me and
Oh, no.
snatched away my nickname. And yeah, I also have a very hard to find YouTube channel on which I put out 2 less content within the last month because they were really, really rough work wise.
That's
So
okay.
there's not that much.
There's
And-
amazing little reading stories that Tom does that are ridiculously amazing and
Yeah.
soothing.
If you like Tom's voice, you should listen. Because all of us do.
Mhm.
So to start this up by saying 2 things. One is that we still have the Dead Man's Rust Kickstarter going on right now for Scarred Lands. Scarred Lands is our incredibly metal D&D 5e setting. I'm in love with it. We also do a Pathfinder version of the core book. So if you know how that works, you can port the rules over any way you want. But our unicorns murder people with their horns. It's pretty great. There's a couple other, there are a few actual plays going on around the place. And also we have, I think Gehenna Gaming just made a big announcement,
Oh yeah.
which was that they are doing virtual HorrorCon 2. And I'm sure that you will see quite a lot of Onyx Path games on there, in addition to tons of other great games. Like there's the free login stuff, there's Morkborg, there's Cult of Divinity Lost, there's just Call of
Monster
Cthulhu.
Hearts 2.
Monster Hearts 2. There's all these horror games because they do horror games, and of course we make a lot of horror games. So I bet you're going to see some cross promotion between Onyx and Gehenna when that comes out. So keep an eye on that. It's going to be in Q1 2021.
Boop, boop.
Thank you so
Goodbye.
much.
Thank you, everyone.
And don't get lost in the hedge.